What's going on, everyone? I'm just a typical, average American here today to react and learn about Norway's upcoming election because Norway is having an election on September 8th, which is Monday, which is tomorrow. Norway is having its election tomorrow. So this is huge news. This is a big deal in Norway. But to be honest, here in the United States, most of us Americans have absolutely no idea what's going on. And most Americans don't even know Norway is having an election tomorrow. So today, I want to learn about Norway's election and how it works and who could win and what's happening and all that stuff that we don't hear about or talk about here in America. So I have a little overview. This is like a short, simple explanation of Norway's election process. It says in Norway, you don't vote for a president, you vote for a party. Right. So Norway is pretty different from the United States. And in a lot of ways, but the election is different. In America, you're voting for an individual. You are directly voting for the leader. In Norway, you are voting for a party, which I think a lot of countries do it that way, where you vote for a party and then the leader of that party is the prime minister or the leader. So Norway's national parliament is it's called the Storting. Elections are every 4 years. Oh, okay. Wow, every 4 years, just like the United States. Okay, so this is a huge deal. Like I understand that because in America, the presidential election every 4 years is a massive, massive event, extremely important. Everybody's talking. It's all that America talks about. So I imagine this is really big news in Norway. The Norway uses proportional representation. The more votes a party gets, the more seats it gets in parliament. Okay. So you're not voting for individuals. It's not like you're voting for a specific representative of your area. You're voting for a party, and then that party gets a certain number of seats in the Storting. And then after the election, those representatives are chosen, or I don't know, a few top-up seats are added to keep the overall result fair and proportional. I'm not exactly sure what that means. After the vote, parties will negotiate? This is very different from America. I'm just going to say it. I don't understand everything, but it's very interesting. One party, or a coalition of parties, that can command a majority forms the government. Right, because in Norway, you guys have a lot of political parties. I love that about Norway. I love that about other countries. Here in America, you have two choices: Republican or Democrat, liberal or conservative. That is it. It is one or the other. In places like Norway, you guys actually have a lot of different political parties, right? That is so fantastic. So many different points of view. In America, it's so polarized. It's one or the other, and both sides hate each other. It's not good for getting things done. It's not good for having a variety of opinions and open viewpoints. It's not good for passing laws. It's very much one or the other. And that party in America, that party is trying to get a majority and control the government. That's it. In Norway, you guys can have parties working together. you try to form a majority, or you might be a minority. The leader of that party then becomes the prime minister. Okay. Who can vote? Norwegian citizens 18 years or older. Okay. Same thing in America. Local and county elections are every 4 years. Okay. It's a ballot style. You pick a party list for your area. In local elections, you can give personal preferences. Oh. So you pick a party at the Norwegian election. You vote for a party, but it has a list of representatives for your area. Is that correct? I think there is early voting. From what I've heard in Norway, you guys do a ton of early voting. Do you guys have an idea of who is going to win if you're doing all this early voting? Um, Election days are usually Sunday and Monday. Wow. Okay. Norwegians don't vote for a prime minister. They vote for parties. And then the party or a coalition of parties that gets a majority. Are you saying that after the election, it's not even determined who the prime minister is? After the election, the parties will negotiate? That's really interesting. Am I understanding that right? In Norway, even when the election is over, there is still some work to be done to decide what the composition of the government is going to ultimately be. That party or coalition can command a majority, and then they pick the prime minister. Wow. So I've always thought that was interesting. In America, something I like is we directly choose our leader. We vote for that specific individual. In Norway, you guys, you don't get direct control, but of who you're voting for, the person. But you do. Because if you vote for a certain party, you know who the leader of the party is. So you do know who you're voting for. So essentially, you guys are voting for an individual. You know who the party leader is, so you're voting for them and their party. Okay. Okay. Oh, I got something in my eyeball. Huh. Okay. The party leaders are Jonas Gahr Store. I've heard of him. He's the current prime minister, right? He's the Labour Party. Then there's Erna Solberg, Conservative Party. Or the Hoyer leader. There's Sylvie Listhaug. I've never heard of her. Progress Party. See, it's already awesome that you guys have more than two parties. You have smaller parties, Center, Venstre, SV, that are not expected to become the prime minister, but they are parties in Norway. And I love that. Here are the big themes that voters are talking about and voting for in Norway's election. Okay, so what are the topics of debate in Norway right now? What are you guys voting for? What are the issues in Norway? That's what I want to know. That will decide who you're voting for. So the cost of living and inequality and taxes. So inequality has become a top concern, arguing over tax cuts versus taxing the wealthy. Wow. Electricity prices, high power bills, whether to cap prices or limit exports to Europe. Whoa. See, this is so interesting. I had no idea the people of Norway were talking about this. It's very, very different from what we prioritize in America. In America, it's more of a culture war where people are arguing over, like, immigration was a big one. I would say in the last election, that was the number one. Immigration and illegal immigration in America. People coming through America's southern border illegally. That was like a top thing. Yeah, it's just like in America, it's so strange because we weren't debating taxes and electricity prices. That sounds a lot more normal, actually. Like America has so many problems, like healthcare insurance, healthcare, and the cost of school and unemployment, and those things were never. It's so crazy thinking about what America prioritizes. Whereas in Norway, you're talking about oil, gas, the climate, your sovereign wealth fund, how it's going to be invested, wars around the world, defense and security, healthcare waiting times. Oh, long waiting times. Oh wow. Crime, immigration. That's somewhat of a topic of discussion. The EU, ties to the EU, European cooperation. Interesting. Yeah, Norway has a lot of things that you guys are thinking about, huh? Huh. Wow. So the projected results. Here's a quick picture from some polls uh, as of September. So these are like pretty recent, I think. Red Green Bloc, 88 seats. What? Oh, here we go. Labor is projected to win 26%, 27%, 52. So the Labor Party, that's the current party in power, right? So right now, according to this anyway, I don't know if this is accurate, the Labor Party is expected to win. Progress come in second with 21%. Conservatives in third. Then the rest of the parties will each have around 6 to 9 seats. That's awesome. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 other parties. You guys have like 9. Huh! You guys have like 9 political parties that all get seats in the government. That is amazing. You know, not even talking about politics or who, just as a country, that is so fantastic. Like I said, in America, there's only 2 parties really. Technically, there's like 3 or something, but it's 2 in practical reality. In Norway, you guys actually have 9 different points of view to choose from. That's so I can't tell you how jealous I am. That's fantastic. 85 is a majority. The Labor Party is going to get 52, so they will have to form a coalition, right? That's how I think I understand. Who will win if this plays out is Jonas Gahr Store. If the red-green bloc lands, so that's like a coalition, I think. That would be 88 seats. Labor would be the largest, and Store would remain prime minister. Got it. All right. Really, really interesting stuff. Like I said, this is just not something we talk about or learn about in the United States. And I knew that the Norwegian election was coming up, and it's coming up tomorrow, and you're going to know who wins, and it's a big deal for Norway. I mean, how close is this? It sounds, 26% to 21%. Is this a close race? This sounds like a close race. Like, I have some Reddit comments here, actually. Here's some Norwegian. This is Norwegians on Reddit talking about this. Seems to be a close race. If the left bloc wins, Store stays prime minister. Might come down to whether the Greens make 4% or more. If the right bloc wins, there will be a new government with a populist leader as the prime minister. The upstart Challenger Party from the 1990s will become the dominant party. Wow. There's likely to be 9 parties represented in parliament. There's really no Trump candidate. Okay. If you're American, we don't really vote for individuals, but rather for parties and political platforms. That's good to know, because that is a very, very different point of view. In America, it's like politicians are like celebrities here. And they're idolized and worshipped even. Like it goes too far. And we should get back to more like understanding political platforms and the whole message. And it's just very different. I like how Norway does it a lot. I really do. Trump has been elected. It's making the right wing less appealing in Norway, and experienced normal politicians are more appealing. That makes sense. Um, AP lost their government coalition partner. Jens Stoltenberg, that's a former prime minister, I think, accepted the role as finance minister. The Progress Party, FRP, grew a lot, meaning, okay, this is a little. I don't understand all of this, I'm going to be honest. But it's really interesting. The Greens have had a growth spurt. Quite a few people want to vote for the Greens to get them above the 4% threshold to secure more MPs, to ensure a Labour prime minister rather than a Progress Party. There's some weird voting stuff going on in Norway where you guys, I guess some people try to influence certain numbers and thresholds to make sure like the Labour Party wins over the Progress if you vote for the Green Party, or I don't know how any of that works, but there's a lot of nuanced stuff happening in Norwegian politics, and I'm just glad I kind of understand it a bit now. Because so when the election happens, I'll kind of understand what's happening. But I'm really, really fascinated and looking forward to the Norwegian election results. And I'll be really curious to see what happens and what this means for the future of Norway, right? So we'll see. I really enjoyed this. Anyway, if you enjoyed this as well, feel free to give this video a like or leave a comment with your thoughts on the upcoming Norwegian election and any of this stuff that I covered here, and that'd be really cool to hear about, especially from Norwegians out there, because obviously this affects you and you're participating in this. And if you're interested in more videos like this, me reacting to Norway and learning things about Norway I've never heard before, feel free to subscribe for more. And until then, thanks for watching, and see you next time.